You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan. You have my word on it.
All right, I'm in.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Tiana.
And this is Next Door Villain,
A podcast where we uncover the villains to discover their humanity. There she is, Miss Alien, bleeding acid blood. There she is, Miss Alien, so beautiful, America's star. There she is, Miss Alien.
Wow, that was really beautiful. Did you write that?
No, it's a spin-off of the Miss America song.
That you wrote?
Well, I put some new words in it. I replaced the original words with words about Miss Alien, but it's really supposed to be like Miss America. I think the tune might be off, but I don't.
Now, is Miss Alien, is that Sigourney Weaver or is that the alien?
That's the alien.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because she's so beautiful and magical, and yeah, she wins the contest.
Yes, and of course we are talking about the alien of Alien and subsequently Aliens and subsequently Aliens 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien Covenant, and Prometheus, and also Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator. I don't remember what the other one was called.
That's pretty good.
I might have gotten some of the titles wrong in there. Don't hold me to that. The alien, also known as Xenomorph, or the Xenomorph, or a Xenomorph, because it's actually a whole species, as we learned throughout the series, not just the one that we see in the original Alien film from 1979, I believe.
Yeah, my dad's favorite movie is Alien versus Predator.
Oh, wow. That's
fun fact.
An interesting favorite movie to have.
Oh, yeah.
Also not canon for this series.
True.
According to the director, Ridley Scott, of the original Alien film. The Alien vs. Predator movies are not technically canon in this story. They're just a fun romp, adventure romp on the side of the actual storyline.
A romp.
Yeah.
That's the word of the day, romp. Alien Predator romp.
Yeah. I had actually never seen any of these films until this week. Tiana, you were the one who talked me into watching these films. And I was honestly surprised at how much I really enjoyed them, especially Alien and the sequel Aliens. I thought those were two really good movies.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, they live up to the hype. They have really high reviews on IMDb as well. I know that sometimes as millennials, we might bash like, oh, 80s movies. But hey, I mean, better than a lot of movies made today. And
yeah.
So inspiring. And I hope to maybe do, she's not the villain, but I hope to do some Ripley cosplay in the near future.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and for a movie that came out in 1979, I think it really holds up today. Also, when the movie started, I was like, am I watching Star Wars A New Hope? Because the opening scene is like identical.
Yeah.
And then I Googled it, and Ridley Scott was like really inspired by Star Wars.
So he plagiarized?
Yeah, he basically stole the opening sequence from Star Wars A New Hope. And then he did get away from that story very quickly.
Yes, that's true.
To create something really, really unique and different.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in this universe, a lot to go over. So we're going to dive into all of that and all of our empathy and whatnot. But before we do, we have to start, like we always do, with our 30-second intro challenge, where Tiana and I compete to see who can give the best description of our villain in 30 seconds or less, and with no pre-preparation. And then you can go on to Spotify and vote for who did a better job at doing this for our pride.
Whoever loses has to record themselves doing their best impression of the alien.
The Xenomorph.
Xenomorph. Alien, Xenomorph, Miss Alien, whatever you want to call her. Whoever loses has to, try and do their best impression of Alien and post it on Instagram. Do you accept those terms?
I can agree to that. So go on Spotify and vote for either one, who you would not like to see do a Xenomorph impersonation, or B, who did a better job with the 30-second intro.
Indeed. Now that things are a little more anxiety-inducing, 3, 2, 1, go.
The Xenomorphs are an alien species that are discovered by a small troop of human beings who stumble upon them one day and find one of their eggs. And then something from the egg jumps onto a human, latches on, and then lays an egg inside its body and then grows out. And it looks out into the world and sees a bunch of people in an environment that it's unfamiliar with. And then those people are like trying to kill it. So it's like hiding. And then the people are coming after it with flamethrowers. And so it's trying to kill them and save itself. But ultimately...
Done! Such a good intro that I forgot to tell you when it's over.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got a few more seconds there.
I didn't cheat, though. That was on you for not telling me my time was up.
And you literally only got like 1 more second. So it really wasn't that bad. All right, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
So Alien, she is such a sassy lady because she wants to protect her eggs and she wants to further her species on her planet because, there's these random humans, aliens to her, but humans that just show up on her planet, screwing things over, screwing things up, and then she's like, okay, I'll put eggs in you. And boom.
Time's up.
Crap happens. Okay.
All right. So I feel that those are both pretty sloppy explanations by both of us. Only to say that I think we should just briefly kind of fill out the story a little bit more. And just to be clear, we're primarily talking today based on the original Alien and the sequel Aliens, the two probably the best films out of the entire series. And I think most people would agree to that. I did watch Prometheus, which is one of the prequels that actually came out just like a decade ago. Did a lot of reading about the other storyline. So we will kind of mention some of that stuff briefly, but we are going to focus mostly on those two films for all you alien nerds out there. The Xenomorphs is basically a species of alien that was born from a chemical weapon that was going to be used by this pre-human species. So there was this pre-human species that like created human life on Earth. And then for some reason they decided that after whatever thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years of human existence, that they needed to kill all the humans. So they were going back to Earth with this bioweapon and they didn't make it. They crash landed and somehow didn't really survive. And then humans discovered them and discovered this bioweapon. And the bioweapon basically kind of ran rampant through people and sort of became, over a few iterations of evolution, the xenomorph that we eventually see in the original Alien film.
Wow. So humans can get real ugly.
Yes. And human ugliness, I think, is going to be one of the core components of our conversation today. The xenomorph is referred to often as a perfect being, a killing machine, nearly indestructible, terrifying.
Bleeds acid blood.
Acid for blood.
That's the best part.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So how do you empathize with it, Tiana? With her, and you've been using her.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I hadn't really put any thought into the gender of the xenomorph. Maybe gender doesn't even exist in this species. Who knows? Gender may just be a human construct. But I think conceptualizing the xenomorph as a her makes a lot of sense. At least the one we know in the original Alien.
I am 28 years old and I had to look up how babies are conceived. I found out.
No one told you?
I mean, it's been a while. Like the science, like, the egg and the embryo. So I thought of Miss Alien as always her because she seems to be the one that births the eggs and then the embryos inside the eggs. So I felt, okay, maybe physically her sex could be female. And in Aliens, we think of her as more of a mother because she's like the mother of all the aliens and she's massive and she's birthing all of these eggs that Ripley and Newt see at the end of the second Aliens movie. Also, Ripley calls her a bitch, like when she gets mad. And so I feel like Ripley also kind of thinks of the alien as female or as this.
Well, there's a strong female power vibe.
Mm-hmm.
In these films with Ripley as the only surviving member of the first film, and then Ripley and Newt, the young girl, being the only two survivors. Well, I guess the driver of the ship survived in the second one. And
there was also another dude who was passed out.
Oh. But really, like the leaders, the strong characters in these films were all women. The robotic navigation of the ship was referred to as mother. A very matriarchal power was present in these films, it seemed.
Right. Throughout the whole thing, even through saying, you bitch. Like, you can tell there's like this kind of female competitive and matriarchal competitiveness to it. Yeah, but okay. So in the first movie in Alien, there's a cat throughout the whole film that survives. Jonesy. She's so cute. He's so cute, whatever. So Alien, she had ample enough time and opportunities to kill the cat throughout the ship, and Alien never harmed the cat. And I at least want to say that that's pretty cool. That's a nice part of her. Or I think, so Alien is considered merciless, but in some ways maybe Alien has some mercy where Alien knows that the human is a threat and a destroyer, but Alien is smart enough to where she knows that the cat is not a threat. She could maybe even like the cat or agree to keep the cat alive because of its beauty and perfection, because, I don't know, my love for cats is coming through.
Well, the cat hasn't done anything to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? The cat never, brought a flamethrower out on her.
Right. So we know that Alien doesn't just kill willy-nilly. She kills those that are a threat. It's not just, I'm going to destroy just because I'm destroying. No, Alien is smarter than that. And we know that from her saving the cat or just leaving the cat alone. Yeah,
I think that's good evidence there. And it was striking to me throughout all of the films that I watched, at least. I don't know that that there were really many instances where the xenomorphs attacked humans unprovoked.
Yeah.
It seems like in every situation that the humans were coming in and doing aggressive, mean things or intruding on their safety somehow. And that their response was always, in a lot of ways, a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
I don't know, just the way that humans act if a species showed up, and started acting aggressive towards us, I think, unfortunately, our response would immediately be to attack back.
Oh, yeah.
So why wouldn't we expect another species to do the same?
Right. There's also some, hints of the movie kind of representing planetary colonization and the risks associated and the consequences associated with that. Like, why is a colony on that planet? Like, what happened? and we're humans, we're just entitled to be like, oh yeah, in the future we're gonna go to all these different planets and set up colonies there because we screwed up the Earth.
And anyone who's a threat to us, or specifically our ability to profit, which is brought up a lot in Alien and Aliens, is a threat and must be destroyed. That's one thing that bothered me about these films. I don't think there was ever really any serious discussion about what it means to approach another sentient life form and the idea of xenocide, just destroying an entire other species without knowing really anything about it. Interestingly enough, though, the I forget his name, the bad guy in Aliens, the guy from the corporation who was like trying to make money. he's the only one who at one point was like, should we just go in and kill this entire species that we don't know anything about that we could learn from?
Yeah.
And I was like, right on, dude. But for all the wrong reasons.
Right. He was like, no, we have to preserve it and keep it for, I don't know. Was it for military purposes or was it for...
Probably. I mean, that's ultimately what I didn't watch the sequels after that, but ultimately the humans continue keeping the species alive and trying to capture it and use it for military weapons types purposes, basically using its skill for attacking and hurting people to our advantage.
I'm laughing because it's so funny how they think that even if they could bring that alien back home to Earth, it's so funny to me that they think that once they have it, they'll be able to contain it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different species. It'll breathe on you. It'll breathe acid on you and you'll die. I don't understand how anyone would be able to contain it.
Yeah. Really, like the most appropriate thing to do would just be to leave it alone.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have developed space flight abilities. So it seems like whatever planet it's on, it's going to stay there. And if we just don't go to that planet, then it can live its own life. We can live our own life. We don't have to worry about each other.
And if they say like, oh, well, what if she reproduces so much that then they do have the ability to form an army and attack us? Well, you have no evidence of that at this moment. Like, you have zero evidence that they will come to you. Because every single time, at least in Alien and Aliens, like, the humans keep going to them and crashing in on their living room. Like,
we go to them, or we go to them and then bring them back to us.
Right.
Every time. You just really can't blame the Xenomorphs for doing what they do, because especially once you know that their origin story is they're basically born from a bioweapon that was created by a humanoid species meant to destroy humans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Xenomorphs certainly don't know that about themselves, but whether or not they do, I mean, it was not... They didn't intend to make themselves.
Yeah. That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Going off of like the matriarch thing, I feel like Alien is the epitome of like a mother's rage. And I feel like a lot of mothers maybe could, or parents in general, could maybe like relate to Alien in that you like have this need to like protect your young and your eggs and your babies, to the point where you're willing to do anything. Like, you're willing to even be considered monstrous and ruthless and merciless in order to fight for your babies and keep them safe. And at the end of Aliens, the second movie, Ripley, she didn't have... I love Ripley, but I don't think she really had to fire flame all of her eggs.
No, that seemed like a very aggressive and unnecessary move.
Yeah, because she was running out of time anyway to get on the ship before things exploded. And she had a little girl in her arms that she needed to get to safety, but Ripley was like, no, I'm gonna fire this.
The eggs were going to be exploded in the nuclear blast anyway.
I know, right? Exactly. And I know she's pissed. A lot of people she knows died, but I don't know.
It also, like, it didn't seem like the like, I guess you could say the queen Xenomorph.
Yeah.
It looked kind of sad to me, and didn't look aggressive in that moment. Like, didn't look like she was going to attack Ripley, and then Ripley killed all of her egg children. And
I thought it was also smart of Ripley at first to kind of point the flame gun at the eggs, like, hey, if you touch me, I'm gonna do this, and then that would protect her, and then she could just leave. But nope, she flamed it all. And my favorite part, one of my favorite parts of Aliens is, so Ripley and Newt, they get into the elevator, and they go up on the elevator, they go to the next floor, they get off, and then right after that, the mother alien gets on the elevator after them. So it's like the alien goes up to the elevator, enters in, pushes up, and then it's like, do 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 do, like, I'm just gonna All right, just ride in the elevator. And then she comes like, oh, great, I'm at my floor. Rah! I just thought that was so funny to see Alien just like casually use an elevator. I don't know. It seems kind of humanizing in a way that she has also like waited for an elevator and done something really mundane.
Yeah, which she could have ripped open the elevator shaft and crawled up.
Right. But nope. She's like, I'm just going to do this properly. Like I'm at some hotel lobby. I got some snacks from the lobby. I need to go up to my room and wait for the elevator.
Mm-hmm. We're also like, and we do this a lot, you and I, and humans in general, is applying human traits onto things that aren't human and assuming that they're acting in like a certain way. And why I think that's relevant here is because we're like, we assume that this species, the xenomorphs, understand that we are in like intelligent life that like is a threat against it. And maybe it doesn't even recognize that. Maybe it doesn't even recognize us as another life form. Maybe it just like recognizes us as like a warm blob of plasm that is a ideal place to lay an egg. You know, like we're applying all of this, like this idea of like aggression and violence when really it may just see us as a great place and a great way to lay an egg and continue its species.
Going off of that, I think people in that movie also assume that she's like an animal of some kind. They put animal-like attributes and place it onto her when she's not the same as an animal on Earth.
Right.
So the evil android from the first film, Alien,
Ash.
Yeah, he when he was dying, I guess, he said, "Oh, I'm so interested in this alien, in this species, because she has a lack of remorse and she doesn't have delusions of morality." And then I was like, "But do you know that? I don't know."
How does he know that?
Yeah, she very could have a moral obligation to ensure survival and continuation of her species. Or it could be out of some other feeling or out of something else that we just don't understand because she's not a human nor an animal from Earth.
Yeah, morality is like a human idea that theoretically we made up and just doesn't even register as like a thing to process by this species.
And it also like begs the question, okay, I'm going to sound really weird right now, but I sound weird all the time, so that's okay.
Regular.
It's regular. So let's say she is like an animal on Earth. Let's just pretend that she's very similar to animals on Earth, where she continues species kind of out of an instinct and out of hormones or something, like animals on Earth. Let's say she's just very similar to an animal on Earth. We can still argue that animals... Oh, God. Okay. We can still argue that animals might feel some remorse, have a sense of moral obligation in some ways, but those feelings are usually directed towards people or animals or things that have already shown that it's loyal to it.
You wouldn't get mad at a dog for being aggressive towards someone who has murdered its puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and that can happen.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, but
yeah,
we give the benefit of the doubt to the creature that's suffering, that it's going to act and respond to that suffering in a way that we would understand it. So like if we're being aggressive towards this alien, it should make sense to us that the alien would be aggressive back. But because it's an alien, we've like labeled it as this other thing that they can't possibly have feelings or emotions. And whether it does or doesn't is irrelevant, but we don't give it that thought because we can just label it as something that needs to be killed.
Because even if it is like an animal, it can still have feelings.
Yeah, we're kind of going back and like on two different opposing arguments here. One is that like we can't impose our like human ideas of like morality and whatever on it, but also we can assume we can also think that maybe it does have those things. And the truth is we don't know any of that. And in this film, no one has even bothered to ask any of these questions. They simply are like, this thing is bad and we must kill it, or take it and use it for our own violence.
For sure. Once when I was in high school, so I used to have 2 cats and a dog, and they're all dead now. They passed away within like the past year. But I was in the living room, and my big black Labrador dog almost sat on my gray cat, Smokey. And then Smokey got up fast enough to where he got out of Sarge's, my dog's, butt. And Jackie, my other cat, witnessed the whole thing, and he attacked my dog and started swatting at the dog. And the dog, a big black Labrador, was scared out of his wits. He was always scared of Jackie. Like, Jackie just is the alpha of the whole house. And it wasn't like until that moment where I was like, huh, I mean, Jackie didn't have to do that. Like, I was like, oh, wow, I guess animals could operate out of care, or, yeah, just out of care. And I didn't really realize that before, because I felt that animals were generally selfish, even though they're great. Mm-hmm. Until that moment, I thought they were like more like 90% selfish.
Yeah, on the other hand, I'm not much of a pet person myself, and I am generally of the belief that we can't like necessarily apply human emotion, or like put human emotion onto animals and assume that it's the same sort of thing. But I do think it is worth thinking about and like considering that, like, you need to be thoughtful about the way that you approach other species. And it doesn't mean you need to know the answer, but it means you need to be asking the questions.
Yeah, that's wonderfully said.
Thank you.
Yeah. And again, just because I think that of animals on Earth, we still also don't know if Alien is the same as an animal on Earth.
Yeah. As cool as Ripley is, she never had any consideration for the alien.
Right. I think she was kind of clouded because of all like the death and grief and trauma that she dealt with too. Like, I don't know if she really had the capacity to even care about it, because I think she was just mostly angry and just wanted to obliterate them.
Yeah. I guess, like, yeah, her feelings are definitely valid and fair, given what she went through. So someone else should have stepped up.
Right. But hey, she's a badass and she's pretty cool. I just can't wait to do her cosplay. Although my hair is not as short as her, but I'm going to do my best to curl it.
Another point, kind of to lend some evidence of some kind of emotion within the Xenomorph. The end of Alien, when Ripley is in the like escape pod and she's putting the cat into the chamber. I forget what they call those.
Bed thingy.
She's putting the cat into the bed chamber thingy. And then notices the Xenomorph like curled up, hiding in like a little side corner. And in that moment, she looks so vulnerable and scared.
The alien or Ripley?
Oh, the alien. And Ripley. They both looked really vulnerable and alone at that moment. And I think it's important to note that the alien didn't like come out and like jump on Ripley and like try to attack her. It was almost like it was like defeated, like emotionally, which, I mean, I know I just went on a whole rant about not applying human emotions onto other creatures, but that's the feeling I got in that moment. And then Ripley just like immediately started attacking it.
Yeah. And let me get this straight. You said that the Xenomorph was once a human, right? Like through evolution. No. So there was this species that created humans, and they looked like humans, and they created this biological weapon, which is like this black ink or whatever. And so this ink like infected a person, and that person impregnated another person while infected with that black ink. And then a baby creature developed inside of the woman that they ripped out through a cesarean section operation. And then that creature
latched onto a human, planted an egg inside of it, and then was born out a creature that looked similar to the xenomorphs as we saw them in Alien.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe it's not entirely bad of us to apply human emotion to Alien because there are aspects of the human that could be inside of an alien because they keep getting birthed from humans.
Yeah.
As well. So
That is true. I didn't think of that.
I think it is totally okay for us to say Alien was scared. Period.
All right. Alien was scared.
Alien was cold. She looks cold to me, like she needs a jacket.
And probably scared the whole movie, like running around, hiding.
Oh, yeah.
She never like came out and like
Right,
she never
true.
like came and like found people. She always
Yeah.
killed people who were out searching with
Mm-hmm.
torches.
Right. Yeah, she was on defense. She was on defense mode the whole time, it seems. Except she did climb into some spaceships in Alien and Aliens.
Well, yeah, but that was when like a whole like military team
Yeah.
came in after her home planet had been, taken over by colonizers trying to terraform it in order to make it livable for the humans.
I learned something from this movie. It's that if someone starts entering a spaceship that you're on and they start saying something like, I just touched something that feels like semen and it was on the wall. Don't ignore them. You remember that? One of the crew members in Alien, he touched some alien blobby stuff. And he started saying something like, oh, I just touched this thing. And the lady inside the spaceship was like, just hurry up, come on. And she ignored him and didn't listen to him. And boom, they were both eaten or killed or impregnated. Combination of all of the above.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you had to learn that wasn't maybe kind of intuitive knowledge.
Yeah. No comment. You got anything else?
No, I mean, that pretty much covers everything I wanted to say. I mean, I think what it really comes down to is when you're approaching a life form or a species that you know nothing about, that you shouldn't immediately assume that it's something that you should just immediately try to kill or immediately try to take over and use for your own advantage or, colonize, basically. Approach with care and caution. And if things look dangerous, just like back away for a little bit. Don't come in with guns.
Yeah. And love cats.
Sure.
The end.
Be like a cat and
Mind your own business.
yeah.
All right, great. Well, I have a special treat for us today. We have a
treat.
poem. Yeah, yummy, yummy. We have a poem that's written by Levi Stallings. And Levi Stallings is a writer, journalist, and documentary filmmaker based in northern Arizona. Whew, I bet you are a lot warmer than I am right now. Kind of jealous. And he wrote a poem that's actually from the perspective of a monster from Greek mythology named Echidna. I don't know a whole lot about Echidna, but there's definitely a great parallel between this monster in Greek mythology, Echidna, and Alien as the mother of aliens on the planet, as featured in Alien and Aliens. So when I read this, I thought, wow, and Levi also thought this as well, that it would work well in an Alien episode because there's just such an intense parallel between these two characters. And without further ado, here I go. They kill my children and call me the monster. Me, mother of monsters. And to think we were here eons before they came with their roads and carriages and rules and legends. It's the legends that'll kill ya every time. But never mind. I was beautiful once, and ate the raw flesh of all those who dared oppose me. I had everything I could ever want, until I fell in love with 100-headed giants. They'll tell you anything, out of 100 mouths at once. And so I raised dragons from babies that sucked blood from my breasts. I put them through school in Hades, and maybe I made some mistakes, but I never raised my voice. Hercules' own mother abandoned him, and he never learned to read or write, completing his labors pretty much the same way you'd ask a neighbor to help move a sofa. Slaying lions and hydras resting peacefully in their caves, they call that heroism. They never attended the funerals, and every night I grieved a song that shattered constellations into comets and reformed them different, so everybody could see the real story of a 3-headed dog, the Sphinx and Medusa, and all my other lost children. I had so many children. How many mothers know what it's like to have 12 children murdered by what they call heroes, and they still call you a monster? I live in my own cave these days, waiting for a hero to come and slay me too, on the faded ink of a broken clay pot that will never be in a museum. Let's face it, you've probably never even heard of me before now. History is written by heroes who want everybody to remember just how heroic they were, leaving behind blood and guts and voices in the wild. Hear my song. The end.
Thank you, Levi.
Yeah, powerful one, Levi. I like that a lot. Thank you so much.
And for any of you other poets out there, or even non-poets, if you want to share something with us, we love seeing what you write, and we try to include your poetry in episodes if we're able to. You can send those to nextdoorvillain@gmail.com, or there is a submission page with more information on our website, nextdoorvillain.com.
Yes. Also, we have merchandise. We have t-shirts and stickers and magnets and a bunch of other stuff. I think even like a onesie or something. That
yeah, we have a few designs, and you can put them on any number of generic items. Yeah. I got some cool magnets for my fridge that I really like.
Yes. I spent all my money on our own merchandise. Yeah. Fun fact. Anywho, so if you're like on our Instagram or on our Twitter page, go to the link in our bio, and then there'll be a link to merchandise. Or you can also go to our website and you'll find it through there.
Yep.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at nextdoorvillain. Follow us on TikTok at nextdoorvillain podcast. We have a secret Facebook group. It's not really all that secret. It's called Next Door Villain. You can go on there. Is that all?
Yeah, I think so. That's enough.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough social media.
Yeah,
it's 2022.
Stick to one of those. That would be great.
Yeah, it's 2022. Hashtag less social media. Hashtag mindfulness. Hashtag villainy. Hashtag yay. All right. Joe's staring at me to get done. All right. Have a good 2022. Happy New Year.
Bye.